we really played a really good first half offensively. We moved the ball, did a lot of good things. We made shots. Carmelo obviously got on a roll for the second quarter and the third quarter. Really helped us. And then the second half, I thought our defense picked up and did a much better job from the first half to the second half defensively.
Go Barry first.
Billy, is this how you envision Carmelo playing for you? This is sort of the ideal, 15 shots, 27 points. He had a couple of nice lob assists in the first half.
Yeah, and I think even last game against Sacramento, he took 11 three-point shots, him spacing the floor. And, I think he's finding opportunities to, get threes. But I also think the other part, too, is having an awareness of when there's matchup problems against him, where we can kind of go into some areas where he's either got a smaller guy on him or it's a tough matchup against him. And, certainly for him offensively, there's a lot of nights where, if you get some switches and he can go into the post like he did in that third quarter, that's great. But, we found him at the three-point line. We ran some things for him to get some pop situations. I think we found him in transition as a team, just in the framework of the game. And then I thought, in that third quarter, he was feeling it, and even having a bigger guy on him, he got into his spots in his area of the floor, and really had it going offensively.
Eric?
Billy, there was a point, I think, in maybe the second quarter where Russell went for a ball on defense. He got called for a foul. You didn't agree with the call. Russell talked to Kirkland about it. But he talked to it pretty simply. You just talked about the play. What did you think about Russell's play from that point on in terms of his offense? It seemed like he really started getting going offensively from that point on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had some drives there in the first half. He just didn't finish. He made some great moves to the basket and just didn't finish. And, offensively, he, in the first half, he didn't have an efficient shooting night, but I think it was a little bit misleading because he got to the spots in the areas of the floor that he wants to get to, and he just, I thought, missed, obviously, shots he really shoots at an extremely high percentage. In that second half, after that point of the loose ball, again, I thought he was a big catalyst to us getting going offensively in that third quarter and opening the game up.
Right.
Billy, Steven has just been on he's been on a roll all year with his offensive rebounding, but especially lately it's just kind of been another level, at least statistically. Is there anything beyond the statistics he's doing differently, or is it just kind of this is just the case?
You love the stats, don't you, Fred?
I enjoy them.
You love them.
I enjoy giving them to you and then hearing if they're meaningful.
Yeah, no, they're all meaningful. But
well, is there anything that he's doing that is behind the stats?
Yeah, I think for Steven, he does a really good job of. I think one of the things that helps offensive rebounding is when you have an idea or an awareness when somebody's getting ready to shoot. You got an advantage, I think, against the defender. So like he knows we're in a certain action, we're running, the likelihood of someone getting a shot from this situation, and then. He does a really good job of carving out space. He does a really good job of making the effort to go rebound. Like I think, he was tremendous on the glass, and he was huge in the third quarter, opening up the game. I mean, he was a man up front with what he was doing. With the 7 offensive rebounds, a lot of times people don't recognize how many times and how hard he goes to the offensive glass and never gets the ball. That's part of being a great offensive rebounder. Like somebody gets 3, 4, 5 offensive rebounds in a game. That's a huge statistic, and it creates extra possessions. But in order to get that many rebounds, like 7 offensive rebounds, I mean, the amount of times he has to go to the basket, and more often than not, he's denied from ever getting a second chance opportunity. The ball may go in the basket, it may not even bounce in his vicinity, but I think the effort and the persistence to keep going is what's really made him dominant the last week or so.
You guys do a really good job of both doing a good job on the offensive glass and still defending transition very well. When your guys are on a streak like you are now, and everybody seems to be offensive rebounding over the last 3 games, when you're on a streak, do you have to reinforce being able to? I know you have certain guys you like sending back, certain you like going to the. Do you have to reinforce so like guys don't get overzealous on the offensive glass?
Oh yeah,
get too happy?
Yeah. I mean, we got hurt. I thought in the first half in transition defense. That's a huge key. I mean, Steven's great at it. He's going to be in around the rim. He's rolling to the basket. He's in the dunker spot behind the backboard. He's in areas of the floor where he can go rebound. Now there's times where other guys can go, But, you know, for our team, we've got to get back in transition. And I think you saw us get hurt in the first half with Sacramento in transition. But the Lakers got some stuff in transition in the first half. We did a good job throughout the course of 48 minutes, but I just think getting back in transition is critical. And Steven is athletic enough and fast enough, and he's good enough that even when he doesn't get it, he can still get himself back in place defensively.
Billy, you said before the game your expectations were really high for Andre given what he had done in practice. How did you think he looked and where did you see
He was great tonight. I thought his energy really defensively, he did a lot of things that were very, very disruptive. And, you know, not only with him guarding the ball, but off the ball, he did a lot of great things. You know, my expectation for him is, I always think when guys come out of games, you know, for the first game back after, you know, being out for several, you know, it's usually a game you play really well because you're amped up, you're excited, you haven't been out there. But just to keep getting him to build on what he's doing. But I was more pleased than anything tonight is I thought he was moving really, really well. You know, a lot of times because we haven't practiced, he hasn't practiced, the first thing you're looking at is how well is he moving, because he's such a great defender. Part of the reason why he's a great defender is because of the way he covers ground and moves. I was most encouraged tonight with the way he was moving. I thought he looked like he was moving like the old Andre. I didn't think he was a step slow or, you know, just needed some time to get back. That was encouraging. So for the 17 minutes he played, I thought he did a great job.
Gary, go ahead, last one for Coach.
Billy, third straight game, you've held the opponent for 36 points or less in the second half. The adjustments, is it just focus, is it guys just sort of honing in? What's going on to turn that thing around in the second half defensively?
Yeah, I think it's probably a combination of things. We did some things coming out of halftime against Sacramento that I thought helped coming out of the half. And then I think just, you know, like anything else, when you see an offense over and over and over, you get kind of a beat on what's going on. And, you know, those guys can self-correct as well. I think probably a combination of all those things. You know, when you're trying to, you know, come out in the second half, you probably got to make some adjustments. Guys got to recognize where their mistakes are and where they got to clean up and where they got to get better. And then I think the other part of it is, you know, just taking the things that you did not do well and areas that they really hurt you and trying to shoot. Like we got hurt on one play in the first half several times. In the second half, the guys did a great, we talked about it at halftime, but they did a great job re-correcting themselves, and we took some of those things away. So I think there's a combination of a lot of things there with that.
Thank you, Coach.